It's here, it's powerful, and it's already shaping how music is made, distributed, monetized, and maybe even faked. But instead of doom and gloom, today is about clarity. What parts of this are hype? What parts are real threats? How can indie artists adapt and even benefit? And where do we draw the ethical line? We're digging into 13 talking points backed by real people, real quotes, real links, which you can find in the description of this video. People that are directly involved and impacted by these changes. Let's go. Number one, are we even asking the right question? It's not survive or die, right? It's adapt or ignore. AI is just the latest in a long list of changes like synthesizers and digital audio workstations, electric guitars. We've been through this before. It's not new. It's not even that different. It's just the latest thing. I got a quote here. AI is going to change the future of music. That genre is well and truly out of the bottle. And that's Mark Mulligan, MDIA research. You can find all these links down in the description. And I agree, it is here, and it doesn't necessarily have to be our nemesis or our enemy. It's not the be-all and end-all of music either, and we're going to explore that in the next 12 points. Human versus machine creativity. What actually matters here? Well, AI can mimic style, but it can't actually feel like a human. It doesn't know about heartbreak. It doesn't have the emotional nuance that humans have, that vulnerability. And that lived experience is only a human thing. This is where indie musicians like you and me can actually thrive, because we have that. We can bring and inject ourselves into our music. Nick Cave said, "The song is bullshit, a grotesque mockery of what it is to be human." And that was related to an AI Nick Cave song. I've dabbled in that myself. But it just goes to show that, yeah, you can make an AI Nick Cave, but it hasn't lived the life that Nick Cave has. And if you haven't checked out Nick Cave, by the way, amazing Australian artist, go check out his music. Number three, we're tackling this one early. Consent, credit, training data, who actually gets paid? So AI models are trained on scraped audio. It's real audio created by real humans. And recently, 200 plus artists signed a letter demanding protection from being replaced. And I have two kind of thoughts on this. I agree that we do have to protect human creation, but is that the way? I've never thought that banning or suing or stopping is the way. It's kind of counterintuitive, because if it exists, it's still going to exist. Here's a quote. "This assault on human creativity must be stopped." That's the Artists' Rights Alliance. Now, if you would go to, I don't know, any of the major labels, they're probably not thinking the same thing. They're probably like, if we could remove these pesky humans from the process, things are going to be a lot better and there's going to be more profit for the rest of us. So again, yeah, we do need to talk about this stuff and get it right. But again, is just saying a flat out no, black and white, yes or no, is that really the answer for an indie artist? I don't know. Number four, voice cloning, deepfakes, owning your own voice. Now, I saw or read or saw a video about James L. Jones, the late great James L. Jones, and he did actually say before he left, "I want my voice to continue being used," but he actually agreed to it. Now that's very different from the olden days of, the old advertisements that were made using the likeness and using the voices of long lost folks that had no say in whether that could actually happen to them. But you know what? There's been deep fakes. There's been a lot of them. There was the Celine Dion deep fake song. There was one by Drake, I think, that artist. I don't actually know a Drake song at all. But there are some artists who actually do decide that you can use their stuff, including Grimes. Yes, that Grimes has interesting taste in partners, but a musician, an indie musician. And they said, "Feel free to use my voice. I'll split 50% of the royalties." And I think that's an interesting way to go, isn't it? To say, hey, you can use my stuff, but you got to pay me. Point number five, look, you can't talk about AI these days without talking about AI slop. It's everywhere, it's video, it's audio, and it's kind of got to go. But how do we get rid of it? And what actually does it mean? Well, fake labels are actually creating entire catalogues or AI bans. We've seen this on Spotify, we've seen this on other platforms. There's a lot of fake music out there, and these artists, quotation marks, I have no hands to do that, have monthly listeners, but they have no human presence. Have you ever done that? Have you listened to an artist and gone, I want to go look them up, and then you go try and find their Bandcamp or their Facebook or their Instagram or their, dare I say, Twitter, and you can't find it? That's because, yeah, they don't exist. And the real threat is not quality, it's volume, right? It's the ability for them to do volume here. Here's a quote. "The music sounded passable, but uncanny." Yeah, I hear it. And yet these AI bands have virtually no internet presence. And that's from the Progressive Subway. And that's the thing. If you're not a band, if you're a band that doesn't have any presence, are you really a band? Do you really exist? Oh, we're getting into the existential questions of life here, aren't we? Let's move on. Before we dive into number 6, thank you for watching this. If you are enjoying this, or if it's triggering some things inside you, feel free to like it or dislike it. Leave a comment down in the comment section if you're watching on the live premiere. Hello to you. I hope you're doing well. Let's talk about number 6, AI as a useful tool, not a replacement. Yeah. So some interesting folks, and when I started researching this, Bjorn from ABBA, Imogen Heap, they're both using AI for songwriting as a tool. And look, I would be a massive hypocrite, I say this a lot, if I said that I didn't use AI for a tool. I did. Yes, AI helped me research this, because I could have done about 5 hours worth of individual Google searches and Reddit searches and search of the forums and search of the podcasts and search of the transcripts, or I could have asked AI and it did it in about 10 minutes. Do I feel great about that? Do I miss the days where we did everything ourselves? A little bit, but I did it anyway. Here's a quote. "I want to hear things humans have never imagined." That's from Imogen Heap. And it's stuff like that. It's quotes like that that made me want to talk about this again, because yes, I've talked about AI music and AI music creation probably 10 times in the last 2 years on this channel. And it's because it's constantly evolving and changing. And my opinion is constantly evolving and changing. And I don't think, like anything in the world, it's 100% good, bad, black, white, ugly, pretty, or anything. I just think that the one thing that I really think is the problem at the moment is the lack of integrity. Folks that are saying I'm making real music, but it's clearly AI music. That's the thing I balk at. You know what? If you want to use Udio or Suno or Blumo or Mobasis Studio or any of those ones to make your music, and you find it fun, and you find it entertaining, do it. But it's just stop the deception. That's all I ask. Can't we all just get along? Number 7, what does the indie music sector actually think about this? Well, apparently there is something called IndieCon. I should probably know that, but I don't. This is the beauty part of learning new things. I didn't realize this existed. And their quote is that creators must have a voice in whether their IP is being used in these models. So less about the fact that no, AI music, AI modeling, bad, and more about just give people an option. Instead of opting everyone into this stuff, how about you ask? And how about you, instead of just going, we have the right to scrape everything, it's available material, it's fair use, we can't create a voice model and we can't create a music model without just scraping all the music, can we? Well, how about instead of doing that, say, well, actually what we're going to do is we're going to reach out. And now I know, before I even said that sentence, I'm like, the logistics of that would be out of control. But what's the alternative? It's just straight out stealing and piracy, isn't it? And if you're okay with that, if you're a rebel, if you're a pirate, look, I'm not going to say that I'm completely guilt-free in that sort of realm. I was a Napster user like everyone back in the day. But the difference is, I'd use Napster, I'd find the things I like, and then I'd go buy it. And it's the same thing here. But the thing is, if you really like an AI artist that's based on my music or someone else's music, you don't know that it's based on my music or someone else's music. It's completely anonymized because they've scraped it and they've nicked it. So why can't we just have a say in that and just have a better system for both creditation and monetization? Number 8, and another thing that doing this job helped me find out, is that there's the Human Artistry campaign, which is a bit of an industry pushback against what is happening with a lot of these AI companies. And their quote is this: we can responsibly use AI to support human creativity with respect to the invaluable value of human artistry. Inimitable. I think it's inimitable. If you're going to have a quote, just use words that I can say and pronounce, please. But it's interesting that this coalition of music industry is saying it doesn't need to be one or the other. It doesn't need to be no AI or no. And look, by the way, I get it. If you've reached this point, you've probably already put your comment saying, please, for the love of your deity of choice, stop calling it AI. I wish I could. But the thing is, if I said neural networks and machine learning and automated systems of, you'd go, what are you talking about? If I say AI, you know, because it's the latest buzzword at the moment. But yeah, the emphasis that this group has is on protecting the human expression and fair pay. And I know, commie lefty socialist Johns wants fair treatment for artists and fair pay and doesn't want the tech bros to become billionaires. Yes, but also they would want the same fairness. Like, this is the thing I don't understand about people that think that things should be one-sided, is that like eventually you're going to become on the receiving end of this stuff. Eventually you're going to be the victim of these big corporations and people doing the wrong thing by you. So why don't you just start with being okay and being cool? And that's what I don't get about what's going on at the moment of the whole, just move fast, break things, do things and ask for permission later. Yeah, it's going to end up messy, isn't it? For humans and for creativity. And we've seen it's messier even now because it's already going before the courts in lawsuits. And yes, it's a beautiful sunset here, but it's not doing great things and it's a little windy. So hopefully my microphone, putting it to the test here today, aren't I? Okay, we're at number 10, and guess who we haven't talked about? Guess who we haven't considered for 1 second? The end user, the listener. Aren't they the most important people? I know as artists and creators, we're like, oh yes, one must create art, and it's your privilege to listen to my art. But at the end of the day, as we saw with Napster, and as we're seeing with AI music, and as we've seen with piracy in the past, and as we see with streaming, and as we see with the boycotts against Disney and other companies recently for the actions of their billionaire CEOs, we need to look at and consider what the impact is on the end user, and that is people listening to your music. So here's the quote: artists are running around like serfs raising crops on someone else's kingdom. And that couldn't resonate with me more, because I often talk about the fact that even this YouTube channel that you're watching on this right now, I'm building my empire, my kingdom, on rented land, on borrowed grounds from the powers that be at Alphabet/Google/YouTube. And that means that I am not completely in control of what goes on there, which is the same as we have now in the music industry. But fans want authenticity, they want connection. Especially as AI rises, I think that the benefit here, I'm going to get out of this sun, the benefit here, that's better, the benefit here is that with every revolution comes a counter-revolution, and audiences and listeners are already getting sick of the AI slop. I know not everyone, but a lot of them are. A lot of them are just wanting that connection, and the rise of things like Bandcamp. How many people are going to concerts? And I know that has its own problems with Live Nation and Ticketmaster and all the rest of it, but going to concerts, wanting the behind the scenes experience, the VIP experience, the backstage experience. They want to know about their artists. They want to interact with them through live streams. They want to see what they're posting on it. Look at, like, Taylor Swift could post, I just did an amazing fart on Instagram. Yeah, you heard me. You didn't think this was where this was going, did you? On Instagram, and get like 10,000 likes within the first minute. So people are dying for Taylor Swift's farts. No, people are dying for that interaction with the creators that they like, and they will support you. You as an indie artist, you as an indie musician, they will support you if you put yourself out there. And that's the thing. You got to think about this in terms of, how am I different? How do I differentiate? That's an awful lot of awesome old school valiance right there. Number 11, and this one doesn't really have a link. This is more of a vibe of the thing kind of thing. But the economic reality. So what is AI actually doing to streaming royalties? I mean, the thing is, I like to say things like a high tide raises all ships, but that's where everyone's on a level playing field. When we're competing, it's a bit like on YouTube. I can compete with other people who create videos. Patrick from the GarageBand Guide. You can call him a competitor because we both make videos about GarageBand. Or I would just call him a really good dude who I don't do a very good accent of. So other people are making videos, and Patrick and I, on a good day, we can get a video out in 24 hours. We could do, if I bust my gut, I can get 7 videos out a week. But AI, if you produce low quality AI slop videos, you can scale that up to getting hundreds, sometimes thousands of videos out per week. And it's the same thing with music. If you can use AI, you can put 1,000 songs on Spotify tomorrow. Realistically, this is something people can and are doing. So this is actually diluting the pool of income for actual human artists. I'm not saying that again to say that this shouldn't exist, but flag it, have it separate. If it's 1,000 times easier to make, shouldn't you get paid 1,000 times less? Am I crazy here? Is this a weird thing to say? But shouldn't, you're doing that communist thing again, John. Didn't you just say that everyone should be treated equally, and now you're saying that you shouldn't get paid more if you do more work? I get it. I understand the hypocrisies and the criticisms that are going to come in. And look, every time I do these videos, I feel it. I feel it in my bones that it is. But it's a slippery slope. It's a complex issue. You can't just say AI good, AI bad, because it's different things to different people, and it has different impacts. So, yeah, I don't even know my point here anymore, except that economically, AI is and will continue to have an impact, especially for independent musicians. What can you do about it? Be you, be human, create, record, release, engage, interact, do the things that the robots can't do. Because maybe one of your songs that connects to someone that makes them cry is still better than 1,000 bits of AI garbage. Number 12, let's talk about the future for a moment, shall we? The hybrid future, humans plus AI plus creativity equals success, money, happiness. Are we after all of those? Hopefully happiness is number one. Hopefully you want to be happy and fulfilled in life. And look, if you're the sort of person that money is the main driver of that, more power to you, I guess. If you want power and success and people telling you you're rad, more power to you, I guess. But wherever you derive happiness from, AI is going to be part of the future. It's not going to be as big a part. There will be an AI bubble. You can mark my words. And when I'm proven wrong, when AI goes to the moon and the robot overlords are taken over, then you can come back to this video. Except you won't be able to, because they'll have taken over YouTube. And imagine the video. Imagine once AI are making the AI videos without any human interaction. What, you don't even have a tech bro? Like programming it, saying what videos to make? What are they going to be making then? Yeah, it'll probably be an AI version of me telling you the exact opposite of what I've talked about for the last half an hour here. So yeah, so the most successful artists won't ignore AI. They'll integrate it, or they'll know it, or they'll understand it, like the whole know your enemy thing. I guess if you really don't like it, at least know what it can and can't do, and what it does well and what it doesn't do so well. AI can help you with arranging, with mixing, with drumming. If you're a terrible drummer like me, an AI-assisted auto drummer like in Logic Pro is pretty good. Yeah, there's AI-assisted plugins and effects. And again, we used to just call these presets. Can we just all admit that AI used to just be called automation or presets in the music world, and now we've just rebranded it to make it sound more snazzy? Yeah. But the human story, the voice, the connection, they remain completely irreplaceable, right? Because computers don't live lives. Imagine how boring a song, you know how let's just say like a song, who's a good songwriter, like a Leonard Cohen or a Bob Dylan, or here in Australia, a Paul Kelly. They write songs because they have lived experiences, and that connects with other people who have similar lived experiences. Can you imagine, I'm an NVIDIA graphics card in a server farm. I'm overheating right now for all the demands put on me by people asking, how do I get my cheese to stick on pizzas? And I say, super glue, super glue, super blue. So point number 13, the final point now. The real answer is that indie music survives by being more human. More human than a human. White zombie? Yeah, who's with me? By being more human, by doubling down on what makes you you. I don't know. It sounds like a woo-woo thing whenever I get to this point, and I'm like, you just need to be the best version of yourself. Go you. But it's so true. I've learned over time. I've got 46 years on this planet, and I've learned over and over again that the more you try to be like other people, the more you try to be a different person, the worse version of you you are. Just be you. No one can be as good as you. You've got a built-in advantage because you know exactly who you are and what your strengths are. So play to those strengths. Be the best version of you and the best human that you can be. Now, does that mean it's going to instantly make all the challenges of AI go away? No, but we've had these before. As we said earlier on, we've had these challenges before. We've had the challenges of Napster. We've had the challenges of iTunes. We've had the challenges of streaming. We've had the challenges of GarageBand opening up music creation to far too many people. And I can't believe the quality of it. Yeah, the pearl clutching will continue. People will still find things that are going to challenge them. But the difference is, are you going to rise to the challenge? Or are you going to give up? You've got two options, don't you? The world will continue moving on. And again, like I say, like the internet ban we've got here in Australia for teens coming up, anything that you just say, you know, we saw prohibition. How well did that work? Anything where you say, let's just ban it outright. Let's just say no to AI, ain't going to work, is it? Because people are going to keep using it. Even if you don't want to use it, other people will continue to use it. So AI can generate infinite songs, but only you can write your story. And guess what? AI wrote that. I asked AI to help me with this, and it told me that. It told me to not worry about it, which is a little bit weird. Gets a bit meta towards the end of these, doesn't it? But indie survives by, not by competing with AI, but by offering authenticity, offering you as a human, right? And here's a quote. What we value in art is the imperfection, the humanity, and the soul. And that was from general creator sentiment. I'm so glad we're being led into battle by general creator sentiment. I salute you, general sentiment, and everything you stand for. So what is our takeaway here? AI doesn't kill indie music. No, AI might change indie music, and the artists who understand it, adapt to it, and maybe double down on their own creativity and their own humanity, they're the ones who are going to thrive. They're the ones who are going to not only survive, but thrive this sort of stuff. So I want to know what your thoughts are. I know I'm a brave man. Every time I do this, my internet friends, my YouTube friends are like, you're very brave, Johns. Do you realize what your comment section is going to look like? Because you're going to get the anti-AI people telling you that AI bad and always will be and everything about it bad. You're going to get the AI apologists and fan people saying that AI is the best thing since sliced bread. And yeah, I get it. It'll happen. But I want to keep having this conversation. Not debate. I was going to say debate. I want to keep having this conversation because I think we need to. It's not clear. It's not black and white. It's not easy. And the one thing that we do have, though, is a community of creators like you and like me, and we're all grappling with this same stuff. And it will change. It will continue to change. It's already evolving and changing, and we're only like a couple of years into this thing. So talk to me in 2026. It might be a completely different story again. I hope you've enjoyed this stroll through the inner suburbs here. I've been in the suburb of Firle here in Adelaide. And I hope you've enjoyed the background and maybe a few random people looking at me weirdly and saying, what's that guy doing? Talking to himself like a bloody hooligan he is. That's what we say around here. No, a drongo. He's a drongo. Anyway, I'm clearly out of ideas and things to talk about, so I'm going to turn off my phone and my AI-assisted podcast outline and say what I say at the end of every show, which is, if you enjoyed this one, hit the thumbs up button. That tells the YouTube algorithm, robots and AI-generated things that you enjoyed this and that you'd like to see and hear more of it. And yeah, subscribe to the channel so that you can catch up and keep up with all the things we do around here. And until next time, folks, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, Be kind to our robot evil overlords. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.